Hey everyone, it's Synth Designer back again with another sound design basics video. Today I wanted to go through a bass patch I created called Bass of Basses. Now I call it this because it's kind of a very stock sound. It's very common type of plucky bass that you'll hear in so many different types of genres, but especially synthwave music. So I wanted to show the beginner how easy it is to create some of these patches and how you can use very basic shapes to create great sounds. So let's just hear a basic pattern I created. So there you go. If you haven't gone through my previous videos on sound design basics, I highly recommend them for beginners. I go through the basic shapes of sine, saw, square, and triangle, and I explain how they can work for you in different contexts. So today I'm continuing that and showing you just two basic shapes here. We have a saw and a triangle. Now, these two go hand in hand a lot of times when creating bass sounds because they are really complementary in a lot of ways. I mentioned before that the sine wave is kind of a fundamental sound, and the triangle is not far off of it in a lot of ways. It has a much more mellow, rounded sound. It's not as harsh, but it doesn't offer as much character as a saw. So what you heard before, let me play it again. That type of sound really comes from the complementary nature of the saw and the sine. So let me go through just the basics of it here. As you can see, I have three oscillators set here. One is pitched an octave down, and then these two are pitched 2 octaves down here. That's what it sounds like, just the 2 octaves down. So let me take this other saw wave off. And those really sound great together, but they need a little bit more beef here. And then I just like it a little bit more. Now, I'm not going to go through every single detail here today, but I really wanted to show you just how easy it is to create some of these patches. So what I do here is take the second envelope and I attach it here to this wavetable. The reason I do that is because this creates a kind of moving filter cutoff position. So just take a look as it plays. Right? That's what it's doing. It's cutting off the filter very quickly because of this pluck, right? So I like to have the envelope, the first envelope and the second envelope very similar because they're trying to do this very similar thing. They're trying to be a very plucky sound. So say if I were to just bypass this. Right? It's a much lower sound. Doing is it's opening up every single time there's the note hits. Now we don't need to get too deep into filter conversations here. That's probably for another video, but you can see there's not much here that's complicated and you can still create great sounds. And going to the effects rack here, you can see all I'm using is a little bit of distortion and a little bit of reverb. Very little amounts of reverb since it's a bass sound. But the principles behind these sounds are the very basic shapes here that we have. They offer great sounds without having too much modulation of any kind, as you can see. I have a little bit of unison on this square wave. Aside from that, it's just all one voice, some slight pitch modulation. But aside from that, you just have basic shapes and a little bit of a filter. With some small effects. And from there, you can really start to create your own unique sounds, but the fundamentals is what I'm trying to teach here. So I really hope you're starting to understand how these different types of wavetables can be very versatile in a bunch of different ways, whether it's synth sounds, bass sounds, or plucks, sustain sounds, whatever it is. They're so ubiquitous in different types of music, EDM, lots of different types of retro sounds, synthwave music now, all over the place. You'll just hear these sounds, whether it's a lead or a pad. Start to play around with these sounds and start to play around with the wavetable positions and see how they can work for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.